We want to bring you an update now on breaking news. One person is dead after an overpass collapse on I-75 South.
Let's go to Evan Millward. He is reporting live. Evan, what can you tell us?
As we've been telling you throughout this 11 o'clock hour, that one person dead, we are told, was a construction worker here. And you can see this site. It's a large site because, remember, crews were in the process of getting rid of the old Hopple Street overpass here, and so from as far as I can see here, from where we are, the part that has collapsed, again, killing a construction worker, injuring a big rig driver, and we've seen some photos, we've got some photos on Twitter, the extensive damage to that truck. As far as I can tell, this was the part of the bridge that was coming onto Hopple Street off of northbound I-75. If you drive this regularly, you know that hasn't been used in a few weeks because the new overpass has been open. We're told that we should be expecting a briefing from city officials, police, fire, EMS at any time, really. So we are standing by for that. But again, what we've been telling you throughout the 11 o'clock hour, a construction worker killed when a major part of this old Hopple Street overpass, I-75 in the southbound lanes of I-75 collapses. It hit a big rig at that time, injuring the driver of that big rig. And I think we are going to get a briefing here any minute out at the scene. But you can see this is going to be a mess for the morning commute. 75 southbound is closed indefinitely. We've also heard now that eastbound I-74 at Beekman is closed because of the traffic from this, and there's going to be a lot of diverting that needs to happen because you can tell just from looking at the scene here and some of the pictures we've been able to show you if you follow us on Twitter. This is an extensive cleanup that needs to happen in order to make this road safe for anyone to travel. So again, I would expect this backup and this closure to last through the morning hours. Obviously, we're going to stay on a little bit later here tonight as we get more information. We're going to be out here, and then Good Morning Tri-State starts at 4:30 a.m. You're going to want to be here with Adam Marshall as he tracks where you can go to divert around this closure tonight. Again, one person dead, a construction worker, a big rig driver injured as part of the old Hopple Street overpass collapses here into the southbound lanes of I-75. We'll have updates once we get this briefing with city officials. We'll bring those to you as we can. Back to you.
Okay, and I think we're going to stay on, and we're going to try to stay on until we can get that update. We understand that Cincinnati Police Chief Blackwell is on the scene there, and so we're going to try to stay on if we can until he is ready to speak about this. As you heard Evan just say, this is on I-75 southbound, of course, the largest artery north to south from, the top of Michigan all the way down to Florida. And we're talking about an entire stretch of highway shut down for what will be hours and hours. We've alerted folks at our stations in Cleveland, Columbus, and our folks that we work with out in Dayton that, let folks know, let truckers know, because this is going to be such an incredible mess. Not to mention, we have a loss of life here, Carol.
A very serious accident here. And yes, when you think of all the trucks, all the big rigs you see driving up and down 75, this is really going to be a mess. And obviously people will have to detour around Cincinnati, in some cases around 275. And go south
over
on
to 71 as well. Yeah.
Yes. Now this must be the big rig.
Yeah, that's the big rig that was hit by the overpass. It fell onto that big rig. You can see the cab; it's just smashed. Where the engine block would be, gone. And we understand that that truck driver is injured. To what extent, we don't know. Although it looks like the actual cab portion, while messed up, is not seriously as bad as what's in front of it, which is where the engine and other areas are, where the mechanics of that truck are.
That's right.
But that is the overpass. And as Evan was talking about, they're replacing the old Hopple Street overpass. So they're taking that one down, the old one. And we don't know for certain. We have not heard from anyone specifically what exactly happened here. We're not even sure if they know yet. But we do know that as they were taking this down, something occurred tonight that smashed that big rig. And unfortunately, as we have been told by Cincinnati Fire and EMS, killed one construction worker on site there tonight.
A lot of people gathering there. We do understand Chopper 9 has just taken off and will be able to give you a larger picture from the air to take a look at what this scene looks like. And it's a mess. It really is. And one construction worker killed at this point, one truck driver injured. We do not know if anyone else has been injured, but there will be a lot of work to be done all night. From what we understand, Chief of Police Blackwell is planning to give us an update on what's going on and perhaps what will be going on during the night as crews try to dig through this mess and clear it away and get us to a point where I-75 can be drivable.
But not only that, they have to deal with an entire death investigation. When there is a death on the highway, they shut it down immediately, and they spend hours just investigating the death. And that could be from, two cars colliding and then getting moved off the side of the road. We're talking about what could be, a large portion of metal, of concrete all over this highway, in addition to the fact that we also have one person dead in this situation, and they are going to take the time that they need, the police are, the fire crews are, those investigators, to figure out as best they can what happened in this situation before they allow any traffic onto that highway, because the minute they allow that traffic back onto the highway, of course, that scene is corrupt.
Right. You're looking at a map right now of the area. Hopple Street is a widely used exit. You can see it goes right over Camp Washington. It's always been an exit that you take going from Clifton over to the west side. It is connected to so many things.
Yeah,
and
you have hospitals,
yes.
UC, Cincinnati State, and then the entire west side is connected
Right.
by that as well.
Right.
I'm trying to look up, actually, how many cars and trucks use I-75. As we know, it is one of the largest arteries as far as an interstate is concerned in this entire country. So I'm trying to look up exactly that number. If someone has it, whisper it into my ear if you can. But we're talking about, hundreds of thousands of vehicles every single day, and trucks carrying goods and produce and all kinds of things.
Going as far north as what, Michigan?
Into Canada.
Into Canada, and going south.
All the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
To Florida. And so, and then every artery that splits off of that from there. So we're talking the I-71, folks. So if you say, well, so what? I'm going to bed. This is on I-7, I live off I-71 or I live on 275. I don't have a problem. I don't have to travel 75. This is still going to impact you in all likelihood in the morning if this is still closed, which in all likelihood it will be. They're saying indefinitely at this point, because all this traffic that goes down 75 will be rerouted to 75, 74, 71. So all of us in this tri-state will be impacted by this.
We can see officials there on the scene, no doubt police, firefighters, construction crews there on the scene, trying to figure out what happened and what went wrong that this collapse happened. It's not, the weather is not severe right now, which is, I guess, one fortunate thing, but they have a lot to figure out.
We're hoping to hear, and I don't know if our producer can hear us right now, I'm sure he can, if you can let us know and give us time cues on if we are going to hear from Chief Blackwell anytime soon. We understand that the chief is on the scene. That he is on the scene at this moment, and that we are awaiting, that we understand he's going to speak to the media, give us an update on what's happening. But what we can tell you at this point is that some part of the Hopple Street Bridge, overpass that is, the old overpass that they are taking down, fell onto I-75. It not only crushed the front end of a truck, injuring that truck driver, it also killed a construction worker. I'm not sure if it was actually what fell that killed that construction worker or if a vehicle hit her, but that's what we know at this point. And we also know I-75 will be closed southbound for an indefinite period of time. We understand, I'm getting a text actually from a producer of ours who says that sources say 200,000 cars a day travel the Brent Spence Bridge, which is what, about 5 or 6 miles away from Hopple.
Exactly.
And so we can estimate that 100,000 to 200,000 vehicles are using that stretch of 75 every single day.
Let's check back in with our reporter Evan Millward live at the scene. Evan, what are you learning now?
Again, continuing to follow that breaking news on southbound I-75 here at the Hopple Street exit, where part of the old Hopple Street overpass has collapsed. Let's take a look at that scene for you right now. You can't see much from up here other than emergency and rescue crews picking around this construction site. If you drive up and down this part of 75, you know this has been a mess for a while as they built the new Hopple Street overpass. So what I can tell you is the part that collapsed into the southbound lanes of I-75 was part of the old Hopple Street overpass. It appears to have been part of where northbound I-75 connected to Hopple Street, that off ramp from I-75 northbound there. It's been a couple of weeks, 3 weeks since that's been used, since the new overpass opened as part of an effort to redesign this interchange a little bit, make it safer. Again, you can see crews picking around down there, though it is really a standing around looking. I would assume there's a lot of how do we start to clean this up being discussed. Again, one person dead, a construction worker who was here working at the scene, presumably also there cleaning up from all of this construction and starting to take parts of that down anyway. When this collapsed, it collapsed into the southbound lanes onto a tractor trailer, injuring the driver of that tractor trailer. But right now, an extensive cleanup and investigation is going to take place. I-75 southbound closed indefinitely. So much problem going into the morning commute that we are now being told that eastbound 74 is being closed at Beekman as sort of traffic management for this, because again, this is going to last into the morning, probably into the morning rush, and that's going to cause big problems for a lot of people trying to get into downtown. But I think we do maybe have another angle of this that we can show you. I'm not sure if we have that capability right now or not. So we do want to show you, if we don't, I do want to show you again a wider view of where this is. And sort of what this scene looks like. You can see the emergency vehicles going for probably a quarter of a mile back up north. Again, though, this is only affecting southbound I-75. Though we do have a look. This is from an Artemis camera along the interstate. Want to show you another angle. I can't see this, but I would imagine that you are looking down kind of onto this scene right now from this Artemis camera. Again, extensive cleanup and investigation now underway as they try to figure out what caused part of this old Hopple Street overpass to come down, killing one, hurting another, and creating quite a mess for the morning commute heading into your Tuesday morning. Guys?
Okay, thank you, Evan. We're going to get back to Evan in just a few minutes. We have some information to give you. One of our photographers, Jeremy, is on the scene. He said the construction worker, unfortunately, and I'm sorry to tell you this, is pinned underneath that bridge. Also, the bridge did not come down on the truck driver. Apparently, that truck driver drove into it. We also know from Greg Geary, who is tweeting this out, he's part of Cincinnati Command, Cincinnati Police Department Command, that OSHA and the Cincinnati Environmental Crimes Unit has been requested to that scene. Obviously, they're looking at this as an environmental crimes because of that overpass falling onto I-75.